Hi everyone, thank you for being here. My name is Chen Boshi. I'm a PhD candidate from the Department of Operations and Information Management at the University of Connecticut. The paper I am presenting today is a joint work with Dr. Wang Jing and my advisor, Professor Chen Liang. In this work, we examine the impact of a high-profile female entrepreneurs' fraud conviction on female entrepreneurship in the context of crowdfunding. So, what is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is a way startups get funded by getting small amounts of capital from a large number of people. In fact, crowdfunding has a long history in the form of people supporting each other financially. Expanding on this, modern crowdfunding platforms have come into existence. In the past few years, with the easy accessibility of vast networks of people through social media, the crowdfunding industry has quickly emerged as a popular option for entrepreneurs to validate their ideas, gain exposure, and more importantly, raise funding. Crowdfunding revenue tripled from $530 million in 2009 to $1.5 billion in 2011. Today, crowdfunding is still booming. An increasing number of crowdfunding platforms are emerging across various categories, and more people and businesses are actively engaging in this financial approach. Furthermore, with the COVID pandemic in 2020, the global economy took yet another hit. Many small and medium-sized companies struggled to stay afloat, and many didn't make it. However, some were saved thanks to the people who supported them through crowdfunding campaigns. As the pandemic disrupted the global financial world, many sought alternative financial solutions, notably turning to crowdfunding. This further contributed to the boom that it has experienced in recent years. The exponential growth of crowdfunding started from the creation of platforms like Kickstarter. Kickstarter is founded in 2009. So far, almost 250,000 projects have been successfully funded through Kickstarter, with more than $7.6 billion raised. Aside from Kickstarter, you may also have heard of crowdfunding platforms like Indiegogo or GoFundMe. We've explored the substantial market size of crowdfunding. Let's also take a look how startups secured funding before this emergence of crowdfunding. Conventionally, when a startup company seeks funding, it often either turns to banks for small loans or investors like venture capital and angel investors. Venture capital and angel investors are crucial pillars of startup funding. Venture capital, as institutional firms, invest pooled funds in promising startups for equity, while angel investors, oftentimes affluent individuals, personally invest in early-stage companies, providing both capital and valuable mentorship. In contrast to conventional funding settings, trust assumes heightened significance in informal funding contexts like crowdfunding. Researchers say that the fundamental premise of crowdfunding as a business model rests on the trust that backers place in an entrepreneur they have never met and products they have yet to see. This important role of trust might be due to the information asymmetries between creators and backers. For example, the creators of a crowdfunding campaign are able to overstate quality of the product or withhold information, as they can control the flow of information towards the potential investors. Furthermore, the heightened importance of trust could be attributed to the absence of legal consequences when creators provide low-quality products to backers. While in this work, we focus on the interplay between trust and gender dynamics in crowdfunding. Prior research in psychology suggests that women are oftentimes perceived as more trustworthy than men, as they are stereotypically associated with social roles that involve trustworthy characteristics. Given this crucial role of trust in crowdfunding, these societal gender stereotypes may offer advantages to female entrepreneurs in this context. As crowdfunding relies on decisions from the broader public rather than a stacked group of experts, investment choices are susceptible to gender stereotypes. Consequently, there is a greater inclination within the public to support female creators in crowdfunding. Some researchers have found that in crowdfunding, female creators benefit more from this democratization of funding decision, enjoy higher success rates than their male counterparts. This stands in contrast to the less favorable position of women in formal venture capital setting. These insights suggest that crowdfunding may offer a potential avenue for female entrepreneurs to break the glass ceiling. This paper delves into the sustainability of this avenue. Specifically, we focus on how a significant trust-breaching event may affect female entrepreneurs in the context of crowdfunding. In terms of the trust-breaching events, you may remember the fuss around the Theranos or Elizabeth Holmes around 2019. Holmes is the most celebrated female entrepreneur. As a Stanford dropout, she was modeled as the next Steve Jobs. She started her company Theranos at the age of 19. The company was set out to revolutionize the medical testing space, reaching a valuation of $10 billion before the capabilities of its core technology were revealed to be largely fabricated. In 2018, the Securities and Exchange Commission charged Theranos, and the federal prosecutors brought criminal fraud charges against Holmes. In 2022, Holmes was found guilty on 4 federal charges. The scandal surrounding Holmes has made accessing venture capital funds more challenging, especially for female. Recent data suggests that fewer female entrepreneurs are obtaining the funding they need. According to one Harvard Business Review study, the share of venture capital funding going to women-led startups dropped from 2.8% in 2019 to 2.3% in 2020. While there has been many debates on the impact of such scandal on female entrepreneurs in the formal venture capital setting, findings exploring the impacts on crowdfunding are scarce. In this work, we analyze the fallout from the rise and fall of Elizabeth Holmes, which potentially leads to a spillover effect on female entrepreneurs' fundraising performance in crowdfunding. The rise and fall of Theranos turned the tech world upside down and captured the attention of millions beyond the Silicon Valley. The Theranos scandal gained widespread attention, especially after ABC's Nightline aired a special preview of the podcast and documentary, The Dropout, which included never-before-aired deposition tapes revealing crucial information. As shown in this Google trend plot for the keyword of Elizabeth Holmes fraud, we observe a spike after the trailer from ABC News is aired. To examine the impact of this exogenous shock on the erosion of trust in crowdfunding, we constructed a dataset of US-based projects launched between August 2018 and August 2019 on Kickstarter. We scraped the project pages on Kickstarter and the corresponding creators' profile pages. We obtained the gender information by matching the first name of the verified identity of the creator to the World Gender Name Dictionary. We also use the API of NamePrism to label the race of creator and limit our sample exclusively to projects that creators are white. To ensure the comparability between projects launched by female creators and male creators, we employ propensity score matching, taking into account project characteristics such as the number of words used in project description, the funding period, the quarter of year that the project is launched, and the type of the project, and also the fundraising goal of the project. We also consider the creator's experience in terms of whether the creator has any prior successful projects. We estimate a difference in differences model on the matched sample at the project level. We consider 3 performance metrics as our dependent variables that are the total amounts raised of the project, the number of backers, and the average pledge amount per backer. We control for project and creator characteristics. In addition, we include fixed effects like day of week, months of year, and the category section of the projects to account for general time trends and the industry section confounding factors. This table here shows the estimated effects of the Cerner scandal on the matched sample. The coefficient of the interaction term between after and female is significantly negative, suggesting that the scandal has a significantly negative impact on all the 3 performance metrics for female creators compared to male creators. Specifically, after the scandal, projects launched by female creators on average secured 21.7% less funding, draw 9.3% fewer backers, and received 12.7% less average amount contributed per backer than comparable projects launched by male creators. Since Theranos was a startup in the high-tech industry, it is likely that this scandal affects the crowdfunding performance of projects in the technology section more negatively. Therefore, we introduce a potential moderator tag, which indicates whether a project is classified into the technology section on Kickstarter. As shown in this table, we find that the coefficients of the 3-way interaction term are significantly negative in all the 3 columns, which suggests that the negative impact of the scandal on female creators is likely to be larger if their projects are in the technology section. The severity of this effect may also be more pronounced when the gender identity of the female creators is more salient. To explore this hypothesis, we introduce a potential moderator facial profile, which indicates whether the project creator used a facial profile image. Intuitively, creator using a facial profile image might disclose a gender cue, potentially amplifying the distrust of the female creators. The results in this table indicate that the coefficients of the 3-way interaction term are significantly negative across all 3 columns. This suggests that the adverse effects of the scandal on female creators are likely to be more substantial when they opt for a facial profile image. We also checked the parallel trend assumption. According to the results of the Leeds and Lax model, the parallel trend assumption is valid here. In addition to labeling gender based on the World Gender Name Dictionary, we also tried a second approach using this generalized API. According to the regression results, the coefficient of the interaction term between after and female is significantly negative, suggesting that the scandal has a significantly negative impact on female creators. Overall, this study makes several academic and practical contributions. We extend the crowdfunding literature by highlighting that the advantage that women entrepreneurs have over their male counterparts in crowdfunding is fragile upon an exogenous negative shock initiated by a notorious female entrepreneur. Our findings suggest that scandals involving female entrepreneurs can have a large negative spillover effect on trust and fundraising outcomes for other female entrepreneurs in the crowdfunding space. Such negative impact is more pronounced if the projects belong to the section of technology or the creator chooses to disclose GenderQ in their profile image. That's all for my presentation today. Thank you for your time.